So I got into yoga just like anybody, where I really had no idea what it was. I joined it because I was curious, and what I found is that the more I did it, the better that I felt. And it wasn't really until I found out that there was a very deep and kind of demanding philosophy inside of yoga that really got me inspired and curious to want to continue with it. So this was really about this kind of suggestion that we should live our lives in a certain manner, that we will do better in life if we adhere to truth and nonviolence and certain kind of moral codes, which really kind of impressed upon me at the time and made me very inspired to want to continue. So I, just like anybody, I continued going to classes, and day by day, year by year, until it came to a place where it seemed like that was really the only choice, was to dedicate my life entirely to this. Yeah. So at a certain place, I went to Thailand. I meditated for quite a while and had a vision in which I decided to change my life entirely. And I went back to New York. I quit my job. I joined a training in New York in 1999, and then spent about 2 years traveling in India and Turkey, just doing nothing but yoga until I came here and I opened Yoga Elements in 2001. When I started practicing yoga, I mean, it really started with curiosity. You know, it starts by feeling good, and and how to continue that. What I found is that the more that you go, the deeper that it gets, and the more that there's available to you as you continue to practice. So this for me became kind of a life journey, to not only for myself to help find out who I am and how to discover what life is about for me, but also to help other people to heal and grow and to learn how to live at their full potential. So what I found is that probably the most highest call in order to be a teacher is to live by what you teach and to be congruent with what you teach. So what I tell people is that the main thing is about practice, on a regular basis. Just to continue to practice from several times a week, and gradually over time that these changes begin to take place in one's life. When I'm teaching people and sponsoring them in their own journey, it's not necessary that I know everybody or that I know exactly what's unique to them, because I know that there's something magical in the process itself, simply by the technique of paying attention to one's body, right, and learning to be really present with one's body and with one's breath is where there's so much capacity to help people to change and to grow and to heal. Certainly along the way, though, there's going to come to places where people have doubts in their ability to do certain things, or that they feel that they might lose their inspiration to continue, or that it may seem that it's too difficult from time to time. In that case, yeah, I listen to people, I listen to how they talk about things, and I do my best to kind of motivate them and inspire them to want to maybe push a little bit further with their practice. Yeah. The things that I teach is that number one is that I like to take people into a kind of an experience. Right, not just a technique, or not just learning about how to improve their body for a fitness sake, but rather like how does working with this body really connect to and make a difference in life as a whole, right? So the yoga has incredible potential to make a difference in one's life, provided that it's connected to the bigger picture. So some of the things that I teach are very much about breathing, how to use the techniques of breathing, because inside of breathing is really the doorway to deeper yoga and to deeper aspect of practice, as well as how to use the mind and how to use the body. So using the body, using the breath, and using the mind, and are really the three kind of steps or important foundations for yoga as a whole. Seen a lot in the last few years is that Instagram and Facebook have kind of commercialized yoga to make it really about the body, and make it really where it's kind of, yoga is perceived as being one and the same as fitness. And unfortunately, that sort of misses a very much of a bigger picture and potential of what yoga can do for an individual, about the fundamental questions of what it means to be alive, what it means to deal with suffering and pain, what it means to achieve kind of balance and happiness. My teaching aims at connecting the experience of one's body into an experience about life and about living and about being more present in one's life and to be more loving towards oneself. So as I understand it, you know, our body is part of our experience. But if we only focus on the body, then we end up with a bigger ego and we end up with bigger suffering. So I'd like to bring to people a sense that there's a lot more, and particularly that the breath is the doorway into deeper states of yoga, and to experience yoga at a deeper level. The aim of my teaching is to not only have people learn about their bodies and how to learn how to move their bodies so they can open it further, but also to really have an experience that your body is part of an overall experience, and that yoga, it's really to achieve a posture can only make one kind of increase their ego. But in order to use that so that your life gets better is a whole interesting kind of question, really. How to connect yoga to the bigger experience of life and being a better person is really what my teaching's all about.